Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. Please remember to leave a comment, like, and a share. And in the news this morning for January 30, 2024, firearm found under Fort Cope in Kingston. A firearm was seized following a targeted raid on Hannah Street in Kingston on Monday, January 29. Reports from the Denhamtown police are that about 11:50 a.m., lawmen carrying out an operation in the area when a premises was searched and one Canic 9mm pistol was found beneath a chicken coop. No arrest was made in connection to the seizure. Investigations continue. Grandson wants help finding safe haven for 91-year-old rape victim. Me frightened till me almost dead. That is how the 91-year-old woman who was raped in Darlaston, Westmoreland, recounted the traumatic ordeal that has turned her world upside down. The woman recounted to the news on Monday how she was awakened by a noise at her window only to find a stranger inside her house. After seeking medical attention for the assault, the elderly woman has returned home. Her grandson, facing criticism for allowing her to live alone, is appealing to the government for assistance to bring her to a safe haven. He stated that he is unable to provide better care as other family members have reportedly abandoned her. "I'm me alone, everything depend me. Me can't manage," the distraught man said, noting that her son who used to care for her is now deceased. Recalling the night his grandmother sought his help, the distressed man said, "She was crying out my name. I was so frightened. I feel bad about it cause she come over my yard 1:30 a.m. and I me and her talk and then me call the police," he added. He also alleged that this was not the first time his grandmother had been sexually assaulted. "I am asking for help from the government. I want somebody to take her where she can be safe. My heart will feel better," he said, while noting that he has to be on the lookout for her. When the news visited the community on Monday, the 91-year-old woman was seen struggling with a crutch in one hand and a basin in the other as she attempted to reach the clothesline to hang out her laundry. Recounting the incident that left her heartbroken, she said, "Lord have mercy, him pull the blade and come in. And me say how him come up the high places there. 2 sticks around the back and I team use come in," she told the news. "Him come over me and hug me. Me frightened till me almost dead," she said. She highlighted that she asked the perpetrator to stop. One resident who assisted the elderly woman to the hospital last year after the first rape incident echoed the calls for her to be taken to an infirmary to prevent a recurrence of the incident. "These people are so heartless. It is really hard," the woman bemoaned. Meanwhile, another resident emphasized the need to capture the perpetrator. "At the second time now, the police them need to act now," the concerned resident told the news. Reports from the police are that the elderly woman was alone at home in her 2-bedroom board-dwelling house when she was awakened by strange sounds from her rear window. She then saw a man in her room who reportedly sexually assaulted her against her will. According to the lawman, entry to the house was gained by removing several louver blades from a rear window. According to the police, the man responsible is still at large. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament candidate for Westmoreland Eastern and the General Secretary for the People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell, described the incident as one of the most evil, depraved, diabolical, dastardly wicked acts that has ever been committed against a human being. To think that someone would violate an elderly in that manner speaks to a degradation of values within aspects of our society, and we can only hope and pray that God will touch the hearts of these individuals who are so callous to even contemplate such an act, and that He will transform their ways so they can repent of this evil thing that is afflicting them. Campbell also shared that he's in discussion with the persons at the municipality to relocate the elderly woman to a safe space. American dentist fined after stripping at a Sangster airport. An American tourist has been fined after causing significant disruption and disorder at the Sangster International Airport as she prepared to leave the country on Tuesday, January 23. The woman, who is said to be a dentist, was taken to Cornwall Regional Hospital after she shed her clothes and fought back as the police officers and airport employees tried to subdue her. The accused woman, who was represented by attorney at law Mark Williams, appeared in the St. James Parish Court for the first time on Monday. She was dressed in a black jacket, white blouse, and black pants and appeared calm. She could also be heard conversing intelligently with her attorney and a relative during breaks in the proceedings. Her lawyer asked that she not be identified by name to save the family any further embarrassment. On Monday, Williams informed the court that his client's family struggles with mental health issues. She herself has always been a high-functioning person and the one who has functioned at the highest level in her profession. But it appears as if she had a psychotic episode that morning, the attorney said. He also told the court that his client is on anxiety medication. Presiding Judge Keisha Grant-Price's primary concern was determining whether the accused was capable of entering a plea. She did not want to proceed if the woman had a mental illness or was not mentally competent to enter a plea. However, Williams informed the court that according to his instructions, his client was deemed fit to plead, but no psychiatric evaluation report was on file. If she wasn't taken to the hospital for injuries or mental issues, why wasn't she taken to the lockup and dealt with in a particular way in relation to the offenses that were laid before her? Why was she kept at the hospital? Judge Grant-Price asked. In response, the attorney informed the court that the police officer had stated that, based on his observations, he believed that the hospital was the best place to take the woman. The accused woman was subsequently given an opportunity to plead, and she pleaded guilty to indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. She was fined $50,000 or 20 days in jail for resisting arrest, $1,000 or 5 days in jail for indecent exposure, and $1,000 or 5 days in jail for disorderly conduct. According to the police report, on January 23 at about 11 a.m., the defendant was seen and heard behaving boisterously in the departure terminal. She also stripped naked and got into a physical confrontation with a police officer. A video that has been circulating on various social media platforms showcases the woman's behavior at the airport in a concise 3-minute clip. The footage reveals her shedding her clothes and behaving in a disruptive manner. In addition, the video depicts her engaging in a physical altercation with one of the law enforcement officials who was trying to restore order, but she was unrelenting. After several minutes of intense confrontation, the woman was eventually escorted to Cornwall Regional Hospital, where she received medical attention. Legal charges were subsequently filed against her. Golding chides the government for mismanaging NHT. President of the People's National Party Mark Golding has once again vowed to return to the National Housing Trust to fulfilling its original mandate of providing affordable housing solutions for Jamaicans. Mr. Golding knocked Prime Minister Andrew Holness for what he says is the gross mismanagement of the agency. He said the Holness administration has depleted NHT funds, leaving the trust in deficit.
They have taken $11.4 billion per year out of the housing trust. We had to do it for 4 years when we were taking Jamaica from the financial precipice that we inherited in 2012. We got a sign-off from one of the leading accounting firms of the world to say that we could do that and it wouldn't compromise the solvency of the housing trust. They have extended that for 9 more years. Till now, the housing trust can't even lend money again. They have to outsource the lending to the private banking system, and they have to pay a subsidy to the banks, putting it further under pressure financially. The PNP is going to make sure that we restore the National Housing Trust.
NEPA accused of not following due process in interdicting employee. The Jamaica Civil Service Association is accusing the National Environment and Planning Agency of not following due process in interdicting the officer who was the first to highlight breaches at the Charlie Mount Drive housing development in St. Andrew. Speaking with the news on Monday, President Tetra Clark Griffiths said that the association is gravely concerned about the action against the officer. She pointed out that under Section 10(8) of the staff orders, a worker in breach of an employee contract must be reprimanded verbally and in writing before getting suspended for 3 months without pay. Dismissal is the last resort.
We just take you to section 10.8 of the staff order said when a person creates an breach of an employee contract, written reprimand, verbal reprimand, it goes to 3 months suspension with no pay. Dismissal is the last thing on it. And if we use the staff orders that outline the steps, then we don't need to go into interdiction and go to section 32 of the public service regulation. We need to be a little bit more human about us. We are too quick to kill and to be vindictive against employees. And we are saying that we will not stand for it. There is a process, and we are saying that interdiction in its current form is unjust, it is unfair. Because like stenographers, court reporters, and those type of persons who has to be in these settings, taking notes and recording, they're short. So the cases for interdiction and hearings to take place, these people it's very difficult to get them and a panel together, right? And so it's a wider public sector problem than we think. And we need to get to the bottom of this. These persons' lives, are impacted significantly because too, they are not allowed to work. So you cut the people in salary, they are not allowed to get a second job or to work.